If you're an Android fan like me, you probably sneak a look at Apple every year too. Not because we're jumping ship, but let's face it, whatever Apple does today, Android makers end up copying tomorrow. Even the nonsense, and with the iPhone 17 Pro Max finally out, I've got plenty of thoughts. Some make sense, some are questionable, and some are just plain wild. So let's dive in, starting with the part that had me shaking my head, the design. This year's redesign is something else. Seriously, what was Apple thinking? It's the boldest change since the iPhone 11's infamous camera tumor. Now we're staring at an off-center Apple logo, a weird dual-tone finish, and that enormous camera bump that takes over the back. And here's the funny part: Apple fans hated these leaks months ago. But now they're cheering like it's genius. I guess people can get used to anything pretty quickly. Next up, the build material. Remember when Apple spent 2 years hyping titanium like it was the biggest breakthrough since the first iPhone? They swore it was lighter, tougher, and revolutionary. But guess what? They just ditched it and went back to aluminum. Apple claims it's for their new unibody design, but honestly, this feels like a step backward. Anyone who's ever used an aluminum phone knows what's coming: scratches and dents. Titanium had finally solved those durability headaches, and now Apple's undoing all that progress. Sure, some reviewers are trying to spin aluminum as a smart move, but let's be real, this is a downgrade. And here's the kicker: that sleek new unibody design? It might look nice, but it's going to be a nightmare for repairs. Apple basically made a strong phone weaker and harder to fix in one move. Not exactly an upgrade if you ask me. At best, it's a fancy crop from the sensor, but the frustrating part? Some reviewers are parroting Apple's claim like it's the truth, and that's how the confusion spreads. Here's the reality, not optical zoom. The iPhone 17 Pro Max gives you 4x optical and then crops to make it look like 8x, but that doesn't make it true telephoto. And the worst part, now that Apple has pushed this, Android brands might copy it too, and suddenly, the whole industry is misleading people. Moving on to size and weight, this phone is bulkier and heavier than last year. And you'll notice it the second you pick it up. Meanwhile, Samsung is slimming things down with the Galaxy S26 Ultra, packing more power into a thinner body. To be fair, Apple did add a slightly bigger battery, about 200 mAh more. But it's hard not to wonder if Apple could have done it better, especially when Samsung managed the same battery size in a 7.9mm thin frame. Apple doesn't have that limitation, yet their phones still gain bulk. Still, a bigger battery is better than no improvement at all. And finally, Apple upgraded wireless charging to 40 West. That's something fans have been begging for forever. It's late, but at least it's here now. So, good move there, Apple. Credit where it's due. Here's another overdue feature. The base iPhone 17 finally gets a 120Hz display. Took them 5 years, but hey, they made it. The funny part is how Apple fans defended 60Hz for years with average users don't care. Now suddenly, refresh rate matters? It's such a turnaround. Honestly, it just proves that Apple fans will defend anything until Apple itself admits it was wrong. Either way, it's nice that 120Hz is finally standard. But when it comes to displays, Apple actually crushed it this year. Every iPhone 17, even the regular model, now hits 3000 nits of peak brightness. That's brighter than Samsung's best Ultra phones. Impressive, right? And here's another win: they finally gave anti-reflective coating to all models. Thanks to its square sensor, you can record in vertical or horizontal without turning the phone, and it automatically keeps you in frame during calls. That's clever and honestly useful. Credit to Apple, they got this one right. No argument here. But here's where things get concerning. Last year, Apple spent half their keynote shouting about AI. This year? And you can already see the impact. Apple is losing ground, even in their own backyard. iPhone 17 might be remembered as the start of a decline. So that's the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Some hits, some misses, and some downright confusing choices. What do you think? Did Apple nail it this year, or are they slipping? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be checking. And if you're curious about what Samsung's cooking with the Galaxy S26 Ultra, click right here. Trust me, you'll want to see it, because if Apple stumbles, Samsung might just take the crown this time.